This film is classified as a dark comedy crime thriller. I feel like it leans far more into the dark territory than the comedic. That's not necessarily a complaint. It's just an observation, because when I saw Caught Stealing, I saw it earlier this afternoon, the 3rd of September, I was a little surprised at how dark it actually was. The trailer doesn't necessarily present it as being something super funny, and you see some of the violence that happens in the film, but it did make me think it was going to be a skosh more lighthearted than it ended up being. Again, not a complaint, just something that definitely stood out to me while I was watching it. Caught Stealing is a movie directed by Darren Aronofsky. The screenplay was written by someone named Charlie Huston, and it was based on the book that he wrote of this story, book by the same name. I'm kind of interested now to check it out, see if there's an audiobook version of it. It's got a pretty big cast. Some of them, I'm just going to list off a few names here. Austin Butler, obviously, Zoë Kravitz, Regina King, Matt Smith, Vincent D'Onofrio, Liev Schreiber, other people that you might recognize. And it's about a former baseball player, high school baseball player, who was potentially on the road to getting into the pros. But for a specific reason, he is not a baseball player anymore. He still loves it and everything, and he has regular phone conversations with his mom about the team that he likes, and he still has a baseball bat and all that, and his ability to use a baseball bat comes in handy at some point. But now he's a bartender. He used to live in California, but now he's living in the Lower East Side in Manhattan. The story starts in 1998. It kind of begins with slice of lifey stuff. It shows him bartending at the very beginning. Then he meets up with the girl that he's kind of in a semi-serious relationship. Hasn't fully reached that potential, but they're on the way there. Well, they've already jumped in the bed, but a lot of people do that anyway before things get serious. But it shows him working, and then he's with his girl, and they get to his apartment, and he sees that his neighbor slash friend-ish, played by Matt Smith, is getting ready to leave, and he wants to have him pet sit his cat. So the dropping off of the cat is what sets in motion this chain of events that, well, he gets dragged into this situation that he has nothing to do with, but he's still dragged into it. And it's a very fast escalation of the problems. The first run-in that he has with the first set of thugs, people that's after his neighbor, it ends up landing him in the hospital. And the chaos spirals quickly and just gets worse and worse and worse. And he is still clueless about everything and trying to piece together what the heck is going on. What has his friend gotten him into? And eventually, yes, of course, you figure out what everybody is after and why. And there were several things that happened that I didn't predict. You didn't necessarily know what was going to happen to different people, and the way it was going to happen, and violence when it occurred was very quick, and it was jarring. Despite this unpredictability on the story's part, there were some twists, or no, I don't want to. Well, there was like one twist that for some reason I just developed suspicions about this particular character that was confirmed shortly after. I can't tell you why I picked up on it, honestly, but it was just, I had this flash in my mind. I bet this is going to happen, and it did. And then there were 2 times where I guessed with 100% accuracy the location of what, Arturo? I see you.
I'm just checking to see how Levi.
He's up there with them.
What review we?
Caught Stealing. You've probably seen the trailers for it. It's got Austin Butler in it and Zoë Kravitz. It's this guy who gets caught up in trouble that he has nothing to do with because his friend, played by Matt Smith, the doctor. Yes, that one.
Is that good?
Yes. I'm telling you right now, it's good. I like it. Thumbs up. Enjoyed it. It was very well written, acted, directed, almost everything about it. I really, there really wasn't anything that I didn't like, is the point I'm trying to make. And my son exits now. There wasn't anything I really disliked about this film. The only thing that comes halfway close is just this predictability stuff that I mentioned, that these three things, you know, the suspicion about a character, and the two times that I guessed with 100% accuracy, like I already said, where the location of a certain thing that everybody was after. The Hasidic brothers, played by Liev Schreiber and Vincent D'Onofrio, it just like, these people were terrible. They were vicious, very violent, and killers, obviously, but then they would turn around in the next moment and they would be religiously devout about certain things, like the time of day or whatever was going on, where they were not supposed to drive or not supposed to drive at night or some such thing. And it was like, it blew my mind. It just, these guys, oh my gosh. I liked the progression of the story. I liked the way everybody played their part. And I liked also how things wrapped up. So yes, I really enjoyed this. I am not, honestly, cannot think of something that was a huge downer for me about the film. I thought it was written very well, and I thought everybody did a great job in the role. And I thought it was directed very well. The editing was good, like the sound design, the griminess of the location was very realistic and did a real good job of convincing me that there is no way in the world I would ever want to live in a place like that. Oh my goodness. It was terrible. He lived like in a very slummy part of town, and a lot of the stuff that happened was in this slummy part of town. It was just in terrible shape. I'm going to assume that this was adapted well from the original source material because the original author adapted it himself. But I will have no way to compare the two until I end up checking out the book for myself. Something else I liked was that the brutality of what was going on was not glossed over, really. I felt it effectively captured how relentless the main character's ordeal was. He really was put through a lot. And he was not someone that was like a Mary Sue or Gary Stu or whatever, where he could fight his way out of the situation. He spent a lot of his time trying to escape the situation and doing the best that he could and thinking on his feet as well as he could. But he was just caught up in some nastiness that he felt like he had no escape from. And so it was very strong, bleak, yet engaging crime thriller with some tendrils, some slivers of lightheartedness or comedy-ish thrown in there, but not so much that I even feel like it can accurately be called a black comedy or a dark comedy. I don't know. I don't know what it takes to make something be officially considered that genre. I don't know if it's that there's a moment or two of a little levity or something that might give you a chuckle or a situation that's a little funny, or if it's something that's supposed to be a bit more pervasive. This was not really pervasive comedy or comedic stuff going on in here really at all. Something I forgot to focus on more in my video review was about the complexity of Austin Butler's character. He was dealing with some demons, and that definitely affected the way that he was as a person as far as when this story starts. And little by little, you see why it is he is the way that he is. But it's these struggles that he's dealing with that also really complicate the situation for him personally. And something else that I liked just extends to the other characters in the story. They're not your cookie cutter black or white type of character. All of them have nuance to them and are complex in different ways. Some less than others, but still their characters were pretty well developed and interesting, and that really gave this story a lot of weight in general. I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that at some point. Okay, back to the video. There are two mid-credit scenes. The second one is only like a second or two, and honestly didn't feel like it was worth hanging around for. The first one was definitely worth sitting around for. It doesn't last very long either, and it happens pretty quickly after the credits start. But it's kind of a cool reveal about a certain character that I think after having watched the film, you will probably appreciate. I did. I thought it was kind of, oh, that's kind of cool. But I think for now, that's all I have to say about Caught Stealing. I know I'm late to the game and watching it. I was in Atlanta for Dragon Con when this came out, so I didn't have a chance to see it until just now, like after I got back. So anyway, that's all I have for now. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. See you in the next one. Bye.